This episode is brought to you by FanRoll, your source for premium gaming dice. Get 10% off dice and dice accessories at fanrolldice.com with our code TRIALS10. They have a huge selection of metal, resin, and even a couple of other novelty dice. So go check that out and get 10% off your order with code TRIALS10.
Welcome to Conversations and Catapults. I'm your host, Nathan, and today I'm joined by the members of the Wallaby Funeral Party. Say hello, mourners.
Hello, my name is Ben. Yeah. Welcome to my funeral, I guess.
Hi, my name is Carla, and I'm the first crying person for the death of Winslow Wallaby. I'm so sorry I killed you.
Stab
I'm
wound in the
integrity.
chest.
I play integrity, but I'm not integrity. I'm Carla. I play integrity.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm here to play Mira Marchand, who is here to play a funeral hymn. This one is somber, so it's all right to cry. And then you can Photoshop in some, like, smashing plates and circus noises.
Yeah, Photoshop it in.
Photoshop it.
Yeah, Photoshop it in.
Photoshop? What?
I don't know how that will help.
I'm just gonna take a picture of this track and then just
put it
That'll
in,
work.
paint
and
over it.
It'll just work. It'll make it into waves.
The only time
This
it'll
will be
ever
our
make sense
first
is that you're going to just
Conversations
post a random
Catapults.
picture into Discord one day. It's not going to have any context, and that's going to be the joke.
100%. It's in the show notes.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is our first one with real show notes.
Hello, my name is Sam, and I play the
I hate to laugh, but my name's Luke, and I'm the one who killed the bitch.
Who invited the murderer
I
to the
killer
funeral?
always
in
goes to the
episode,
funeral.
It's gonna be in there. I'm gonna fucking kill you. We all giggled, and then I did it for real.
And then we all just were stunned.
Yes.
Yeah, having that knowledge and hearing that while I was listening to the rough cut really made me, like, double over laughing.
I'm glad.
Like,
I hope people can enjoy it in, like, retrospect.
it was so heartbreaking to, like, also have that and then to, like, hear Ben talk about being, like, shaken up and having the context of seeing his messages to the group earlier of, like, oh, I'm still really rough over this.
Ben saying, yeah, I had a hard time sleeping last night. Guess I just had too much adrenaline. Still kind of messed up. Like, fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, so speaking of that happening, we are at the end of the ousting of Bailey
Yes.
Blue. Bailey Blue has
He was definitely ousted.
It ended with
He's
his
not
life.
ousted to
Did you
hell.
kind of intend the whole time for Bailey to die? Was that the motivation behind naming the arc in such a way?
I really thought that he would get saved. I'm going to
Really?
be really honest with you.
Whoops.
I thought he was going to be saved and be this pathetic little mongrel. And that was like my kind of play in 200, when the location of the you guys are in the cannon lab gets revealed. And then Henrietta uses like the reverse of, I don't usually take class features and give them to characters, but I will often use them as inspiration. There's a feature that the Fathomless Warlock gets called Fathomless Plunge, I believe, which is that they can willingly teleport themselves to a body of water. I was going to have that unwillingly happen to him, which is what was happening in the Cannon Lab. And that was like the play to get Bailey back into Our Lady of the Deep's pocket. And then she had the little tadpole on his head, the little thing on his head. And I was like, okay, now the way that they save him is getting that off. And that's the thing, right? And they'll get that off before they kill Henrietta. And that'll be the ball game, folks. And then that's not exactly what happened. And Henrietta died. And Bailey, as a consequence, also fucking perished. Wasn't intended. No. It was something that I was like, this is a very real possibility of happening, but it was in no way did I set out in this arc to kill Bailey Blue. I definitely set out in this arc to make him a villain and make him get in over his fucking head, but I didn't intend to kill him, no.
It is fun to look back and see those, like, signposts, so to speak, of, like, getting to see the glimmer. God, you did a great job of setting up Bailey as a potential like future ally who is like turned from being bad into being good, you know? Like put in a lot of the legwork there, especially with like Integrity's ties to Bailey, like through the list of warlocks and everything of that nature. And having him die, I think, was really rough to watch. It made sense, don't get me wrong, and like it works. But I was very much in the camp of like, I'm excited to see non-annoying Bailey Blue, which probably
Doesn't
never would have
exist.
come. This might be the only route that we could have taken to get non-annoying Bailey Blue is a dead Bailey Blue.
It's true.
But
I really wonder where his character would have gone if he actually did live. Like, would he just be like a sniveling little baby for like the rest of his life, like from this event?
he would make reparations. He would try to make things up to people, I'm sure.
I don't know if he would like really make. He would make like reconciliation with some people to an extent, I think. And then as soon as like things started to get more comfortable and like back to normal, he would probably return back to his like, you know, snide, confident self. But
Yeah.
you know, he would just be like smart about how he does it now. Maybe.
For him, there was like this thing of like, oh, Mira's competent, sure. She can run the planning committee when I'm gone, right? But I believe in a world where Integrity frees him from his Integrity and Winsler free him from his pact, and then like Integrity saves the guy, right? I believe there is an actual world where he gains a moment of humility and realizes like, whoa, Mira and these folks just are better than me right now, not while I'm gone and something like that. And so in the outcome where Bailey lives, this will prove to be of who knows relevance going forward, but in the outcome where Bailey lives, I think there's like this moment where he willfully steps down from event planning committee candidate, right? And it goes, Mira, I think you got this one, actually. You saved my fucking ass. You saved my tail. I got it over my head. I'm going to cool off. But now she can just win without contests for Bailey.
Yeah, I mean,
she still has to get past
I'm sure
Syndra.
Mira's really in a campaigning mood right now, so
Of course.
it's
I'm
definitely gonna be a big
Don't
focus
forget,
of the
elections
next
on Sunday,
arc.
folks. Don't mind the dead bodies. Come out and vote.
Oh, I don't want to think about how many like
Don't mind the dead bodies, come and vote was just the 2020 slogan. Sorry,
God
Sam,
damn.
go ahead.
Fuck.
oh my god.
What the? I didn't hear. I
No.
just heard 2020.
It's fine.
Sam, you were saying, though?
Just the thought of like that connect, because like I don't know, I'm not as in depth when it comes to D&D creatures and everything like that. So me in that context had no idea what that was or what happened.
Yeah.
So thank you for explaining that, because like I don't know these things. So,
Yeah.
but now I'm thinking like, were there any other people who like we don't know what happened outside of this room after she died yet?
Yeah.
Like
So elder brains, traditionally in their tank, store a bunch of little tadpoles, illithid tadpoles, and will raise them or let them be put into other people. So anyone who is referenced as being like, they put something inside them, such as Ephrosyne, such as Professor Doss, had a illithid tadpole put inside them. In Ephrosyne's case, I can say it didn't take, right? Like that, the parasite didn't take, and so she was throwing them up, or throwing it up, right? And then it was generally like just hurting her inside. Whereas with Professor Doss, much more powerful body to take on that kind of aberrant magic and power, the kind of tadpoleification did take, and then consequently we see her come out as a full-blown illithid with under the powers of control of Our Lady of the Deep. And then I had like a little damage threshold that I was like, oh, this will be fun. This will probably never come up, but I'll put a little damage threshold here for if she takes more than 40 damage in one turn, she'll like have a break from that and like snap back to being Professor Doss.
When
and
you-
Serenup is immediately like, I'm gonna fucking Cone of Cold her. And I was like, this is sick.
the moment you said, "Oh, you passed the threshold," I'm like, "Oh no, what did I thought I killed her." I had a moment of like,
Yeah,
"Oh god," like
terrifying
Serenip
words
just
out of
absolutely
context.
overdid
passed
it
the
and just
threshold.
destroyed this person.
That's one way to maintain the HSE secrets.
It's true.
Oh, God. Everyone, we're here at the end of this arc. I want to hear your roses and thorns if you feel comfortable sharing them. For the arc as a whole, not just this batch of 3 episodes.
Yeah. I have a thorn, but I don't want to lead with it.
Yeah, that is pretty rough to lead with a thorn. However, I also, like, Winsler did die, so I guess we're not all, like, in the super, like, yeah, that was my rose.
Yeah. My thorn is that the encounter design in this arc was not to the same quality as past arcs. We just came off of the last big arc, Fate. It's just a phase. The encounter design, I would say, not to toot my own horn, but we could all agree it was amazing.
Yes! You're joking,
Of course.
but yes, great fucking combats in
really.
phase.
Yeah.
Versus this one, the rat encounter early on, which was a very polarizing fight. Some people said, Luke, this is the dumbest shit ever. I fucking hate this. Others said it was okay. Tons of opinions in between. And then again, we just see another rat fight, and then the final encounter with Henrietta. I wish I had added more stuff to be able to magically do, because a lot of the encounter design was contingent upon Doss being there on the outside and then Bailey being there on the inside, right? So it would be Our Lady of the Deep plus one other very competent spellcaster, right? And so the encounter design broke when Doss runs away, for the better, and that is actually also the same point that Winslow gets knocked unconscious and grabbed, and then we start to transition to the interior encounter design, and it was an okay design, and I do not think it's helped by how long we had been playing or recording, but at large, I don't think the encounter design in this arc stands up to, like, it's just a phase, you know?
It's just a phase. For what it's worth, though, is like the A+ tier
Yeah.
of some of your encounters
Absolutely.
across the podcast as a whole.
I liked the size and pacing of the arc. I feel like they've been very good lately at telling self-contained stories that have enough time to build up, first early episodes with the rat stuff, election setup, what's going on, and then come to what I think is a very narratively satisfying conclusion. I mean, we started at 187, we end at 201. I think that's a really solid arc size, and I just think, like, narratively it was fun, it was good. I just liked it in general. It was a very good mix of kind of the crunchier side of things, like a fun amount of roleplay. It kind of gave everybody bits to do. I would say with my Thorn, I would agree about the encounter design. There were a few episodes, like with the rat fight, where it's like, some of us either just didn't have very much to do, or the fight was just, we're playing as rats, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I don't think the final fight was, like, bad by any means, but I can see where you're coming from with regards to things that might have made it more interesting or more dynamic, especially for the length that it was. So I think it was a good, well-paced, tight, fun arc, but that the combats could have been stronger. And obviously some of that, it's not as if the quality of a combat rests entirely on a DM either. There are things that players can do to change the battlefield or just be on top of their game. And so I'm including myself in this as well. I'm not like, Luke, fuck you, your fights were terrible.
My secondary thorn, thank you for reminding me, Sarah, that players can influence encounters. My secondary thorn, and the reason I killed the man, is because of Ben's use of fucking animate objects. Amazing spell. I believe that it's like the perfect Winslow spell. Like, it embodies his little shit brain. And it's like, this is a jokey thorn. I think the spell's very fun. I hate it as a dungeon master. As the person who has to, like, pace the fucking episode, when Ben goes, I'm going to add 19 enemies to this combat. I'm like, I fucking hate you. You've added
Coolest thing to do
18
as a
moving
player.
pieces. I have to keep track of the chairs,
horrible
the
thing to do to a
podiums. What the
DM.
fuck?
I can't believe I did that to you twice in the same arc.
I think that the using it against Henrietta was one of the it's just such a minor thing, but it was like one of the most singularly shocking moments in combat for me in the entire fucking podcast was the moment you go, yeah, my load of bricks do 78 damage. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do against that?
Oh man.
Uh,
That, like, final combat was so wild. The fact that, like, number one, that Doss got Winslow's book, and I thought, oh, it's given to me. Okay, perfect. So after the fight, I'll just give that back to Winslow, and we'll all be fine. And now I'm just like,
Rip.
A token of his life.
Just in my pocket, apparently.
I have a unique perspective about this arc because I think it is both a rose and a thorn all in one. I liked how it was, like, sort of laid out where you had, like, the two pairs of characters, some that may not normally get paired up, so that they get their own, like, interactions with one another that, probably wouldn't come up in another scenario. I feel like it was nice having, like, two different parties in, like, two different areas because that way you get more information as a listener as to what's really going on. You have like the whole mystery on the top side. What's the path that we have available here? And then you have on the underside, which is, oh my God, how do we get out of here and to everyone else? I think that's really good because it gives the listener tons of information to sort of like bounce in their head and figure out where these things might go next. But I also think mechanically it kind of sucks because if two players get into a combat, then the other two players don't really have much to do, and it can get kind of a slog and boring for them. So having enough stuff to balance between those two is like really important. But I do really love the like the structure of it.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe in the future, if the party ever gets split up, that might be just another thing to like focus on.
Yeah.
But all in all, I thought it was really fun.
I think I have to echo that exact same sentiment, Ben, where it was like, I felt like we did the A-B storyline. And we often do those, right? Where we'll have a split thing and I'll be like, this, that, and pulling focus between the two. In this arc, it felt very imbalanced. It was like entire episodes are A or B, right? As opposed to like, we're cutting back between, not to say like cutting back between the A and B like 19 times in an episode is necessary, but like balancing out what people are doing and trying to give everyone something new to do is like very important. That's like a big part of DMing is like being able to balance players and like the time that they get to play.
Maybe from this point onward, for like at least a little bit, keep everyone together so that, you know, you have like a whole singular thing, and then as long as everyone's together, you can bounce between like an A or B plot. But maybe in the future at some point, like
people.
Yeah, it'll be so much easier with just 3 players.
take another divide and, you know, figure something out there.
Oh my God, we're back to 3 again.
Back to 3.
Yeah.
Damn.
I will say, like, if I'm allowed to throw in a rose here, I think that in terms of, I think one of my favorite things is how lore was divulged in this arc. Like, the amount of information and the pace at which it was doled out felt way more digestible for me. Like, this arc as compared to previous.
That's a very good point, Nathan.
Yeah.
I actually agree with that a lot.
Sometimes I am overwhelmed.
Yes.
Because I'm not super good at, like, following audio mediums.
Yes.
Just stories in general, tough. But with this, it felt like I was able to understand not only, like, character motivations, but also, like, big lore reveals and why they're
And not just like
Yeah.
lore for lore's sake in the sense of here's the year the school was founded, but like what it says about the school that we're at, the themes of the show, like the very institution that we're like why it matters, not just
This is the original purpose that the school was built for.
Exactly.
And it's a terrifying origin.
That's the secret through line of the arc is like, this is like, y'all already know Wildca fucking sucks. Here's the reason it is institutionally shit, right? And because the reason is that's the way it was designed, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
So-
I think that it was also communicated in a very thoughtful way. Like, it's not just like something that is read through a book or something that we just found out like from rumors from someone, but
Or
for
in a
example, like
classroom.
the whole thing about Henrietta, we learned through Merrick.
Yeah.
And Merrick was not only like, you're telling us both the lore of the institution that we are in, like the school, and also showing the wrath and the heartlessness
The arrogance.
of Henrietta
Yeah.
through having this brain suffer for many years. So it's like multi-layered like scenes where it's not just one thing that is being revealed, but things are being revealed through actions and not just words.
Yeah.
So I quite like that.
And not just that, that interaction not only like taught us a lot about lore, it also presented a fun character choice.
Yes.
Which was, do you mercy kill this brain?
Yes.
Which like then adds a layer of stakes to all of the information that is being revealed. And yeah, really appreciated all of that throughout this arc. I thought it was executed wonderfully.
Yeah. But thinking about the Henrietta thing, it's it's this really fun development where we go from we're all on campus, and then Winslow and Integrity are like the rats. People are gonna poison the rats. Or the rats are gonna poison the school. What the fuck is that about? And then it's like, oh, you get invited to the Hedrick Society for Excellence. Oh, it's this dead body. I'm gonna vow to these bones to I don't know, make a metric of cow magic. Sure, that's what it is. Oh, there's Our Lady of the Deep. Who the fuck is Our Lady of the Deep? Oh, there's a giant brain. Oh, that the brain happens to be a founder. The founder is Henrietta. What's going on there? Why? Right? Like it was like every single moment that we get a furthering of that plot or the furthering of that lore is just a little tidbit, a little bite-sized, very easily digestible morsel. And I think that's like what you're talking about, Nathan and Sarah, where you're like, it was all very self-contained, and you would get one, and it was very easy to process it and understand why it's important that we know this thing, as opposed to stuff where it's like, oh, we're on the moon. Here's an hour of monologue.
Exposition.
Right? Yeah.
How much do you know about planes?
Yeah.
How much do you want to know about planes?
That's me having to be like, I wrote 19 pages on this. Listen.
I mean, that's been our critique
Look, I
of
wrote
the
all of
orbs
these planes 3
as
years
a lore
ago.
thing, right, Nathan? And so, like, to see the polar opposite of that in a way that's like, it is relevant to us, it is relevant to the themes of the show, it is learned through play, it's a good amount of info, perfect on all counts.
Yeah, absolutely, like, gold star.
As you guys know, like, my big thing is, like, the visuals that you get.
Yeah.
Everything with the underground just kind of put you on edge.
I'm so glad.
Like, literally the moment that we got to see, like, just this center area with, like, the brain fluid and, like, the fact that Our Lady, it was just, and who's going to die now?
The fear of the unknown is a powerful tool when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. If you can use it,
100%.
if you can use it like skillfully, it will probably be one of the greatest tools you'll ever come to use for the rest of your time as a DM.
That's why I never tell anyone anything. That's the reason.
Except on this show. Golly.
I do think this was a good arc, though.
I agree.
I think this is a very solid arc.
I just need
sorry
to,
that
I
Windsor
need to
died.
say that more for
but-
myself than anything else.
Luke, with Winsler dead, and I know that you obviously don't want to give away your
Yeah.
whole hand here, but do you have any tidbits of what might come next for us?
Well, I think we need to examine two things. How important is figuring out the secrets of Shiora versus how important is preventing Winsler's 16/17 of Winsler's soul rotting in eternal damnations and 1/17 of his soul rotting in a teapot in Isithil. How important are those two things to our characters right now at this very moment? Which one takes the priority?
Definitely Shiora.
Right?
Yeah. Sereneth will finally hand
I
over
already-
her fucking fingernails if it means
Yeah.
getting a part of Winsler's soul back, maybe.
I don't know if I
Even,
said
Sarah,
this.
even if that's a joke, I felt like pain and
that hurt. I was like, oh god.
I definitely said this to Sarah, and I'll say it here. I don't know if I've said it here. I think it bears saying publicly, though, where it was like, Sarah, here's the potions. Or rather, in character, I was like, Mira, here's the fucking potions, blah, blah, blah. And then out of character, I was like, Sarah, these potions are an interrupt. If you use them ever, I will stop whatever is happening, and we are going and doing this arc immediately. I don't give a shit if it's like we're 17 episodes deep into some deep, heavy shit, and Mira's like, let's pop these potions. We're fucking cutting over to the other thing. I do not give a fuck. So, the ball's in your court.
I think we're probably going to worry about Winsler first.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Also, like,
Well, in
from
that
the
case-
perspective of Ben having shit to do, I think that also matters. All right, here's
Outside of the game, yeah, in the narrative of the story, which one of these matters more to the characters? Outside
Yeah.
the game, my biggest priority is I need to find something for Ben to do, which Ben and I.
Faramel, what's going on? You're back?
God.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Faramel. I'm your gross
That's
uncle.
Farrell's voice.
It would just be
Yeah, you got the
Winsler
voice down
yelling inside a teapot.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just like have 17 other friends who are like the other souls that Celty like.
Mhm.
It's like it's like a ghost thing. His arms go
It's like
through
that
the
scene from
teapot, and his legs
Coraline.
go through the teapot, and he just
Yeah.
picks the teapot up and starts running away.
Yeah,
with
it's like a little.
You're gonna turn to that fucking
It's super cute,
Pokemon
though.
and just like fucking.
But yeah, I need to give Ben something to do as a character. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. The thing with Faramel is that Winsler and Faramel have both mercy killed someone now. That's pretty nifty. They have matching
parallels.
spell books. They have matching mercy kill.
Oh my god, they're twinning.
Faramel is time traveling Winsler confirmed.
It's true.
Yeah, we've always known.
Or maybe it's Kurt who takes Winsler's book in his death, and then he goes off into the future to become an ice wizard.
Oh shit.
That would line up with everything we know of Kurt. He loves ice.
Did we ever have
hat?
I was about to say, do we ever have a scene where Faramel has not been sleeping for several days and is slowly driving himself crazy?
It's true. Well, I would say no.
Here's the
'cause
thing.
We've had
Here's the thing,
two
though.
Faramel
Faramel
scenes ever.
reads. I don't know if Kurt reads.
No one
Faramel
else.
does read.
Yeah, that's fair.
I thought you were saying
Kurt just does.
I thought you were saying Faramel reads. No one else in this group reads. Like that narrows down the list. No one at the school
does.
reads.
When was the last time any of us have been to book club room?
It's true.
I'm not. Wait, am I in the? Wait, actually, I don't know.
No, it's
I
just
don't
a
think
Winsler
so.
and Mira thing.
Integrity probably has audiobook.
No, future's proof.
Yeah, Integrity definitely has audiobooks.
Like, just put some mouth on a book and like read everything you need.
Wait.
God.
There's
Wait.
precedent for that.
Wait, if a mimic is a book, could the mimic
No.
read you? Damn it.
Nope. Luke, you mentioned like we already took
Yeah.
a brief second to look at like what's in the future for the party.
Yeah.
I want to take a broader look in terms of how is the culture of Wildcliff going to change after this
Ooh.
arc?
It's in the public.
Because we had the symposium, which was a very public ordeal, and and also I don't know the whole Henrietta stuff. That
Public.
wasn't too. Yeah, that wasn't too on the down low.
No,
Destroyed a
entire
building, like
tower got busted
Yep.
open. It'll
Yeah,
be-
that's a little bit
yeah.
obvious.
I have a fun idea for how we're gonna start the next episode with that context, just to show like what this looked like to people,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna pop around probably and deal with the aftermath. Years ago, we had an aftermath. We've only ever really had one big aftermath episode in the show, which is at the end of Food for Thought. Instead of the arc ending with like everyone beating the All Blacks, the arc ends the next episode instead when they all go and like get pulled into Underbow's office, and he's like, "You fucking troublemakers, detention forever!" Right?
man, you're the
So-
worst headmaster ever. I hope you die.
It won't be like another aftermath episode in the sense that we're gonna do another episode of the Ousting of Bailey Blue. We're gonna move on to another arc. Who knows what that will be?
So like we did with Trading Places, sorta.
yeah, probably. That probably fits it best. And whether or not that is like a short liminal arc or a just like the start of the absolute next arc, which is like the Winsler retrieval arc. that's the name for it. That will be
Jesus.
seen through actions of the players when we record it tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's
How
tomorrow gonna
exciting.
happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yo.
Now, Ben, I also wanted to ask you because, like, throughout the episode, when Winsler passed on,
Fucking die.
you were very like keen on saying, "No, I have a plan. Like,
Yeah.
I have something planned for this." Is that plan still yet to be put into motion, or like, can we get to hear what the plan was?
So me and Luke were talking
Don't
in secret
reveal. Yeah.
about some things.
Oh, don't reveal.
I don't know if we truly settled on like a final sort of plan of action yet, but I
have to
did
figure
go
it out.
over like 2 different solutions and presented them to Luke. And I thought it would be really cool to do either of them. Really, it doesn't matter to me what happens. But those were just the ideas that were rummaging around in my head, and I was like, this would be my first thought as like
Yeah.
something that, you know, could happen.
Ben gave me an idea that was something that okay, we haven't seen Celty in ages. Ben gave me an idea that was like one of my initial notes on the page about like, oh, this is probably what Celty would do with Winsler's little soul, or all the little clippings of his hair and stuff that she's gotten throughout the year
I forgot
that
about
she's
that.
known him. So I'm excited for that. I think Ben presented very good ideas, and I'm excited to see how they turn out.
We're so excited.
I am. I'm very excited.
Now I'm excited.
I hope that turns out in a good and satisfying way. I think, and maybe Ben, you can speak more to this. One of them's like a short-term option, or not a short-term option, but like the short-term plan, and another one's like a bit longer of a term plan.
Yeah.
Short-term plan, like Winsler will be alive for a little bit just to like settle all his things. Like, Mom,
my God.
Dad, goodbye.
No, I don't think it's like that. Winsler may be dead, but I've said before that I'm not giving up on the boy.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's like the biggest thing.
Aw.
It was like Winsler died, and I was like, Ben, do you still want to play Winsler, or is this the like new character time, right? And the fact that Ben still wants to play Winsler means we're gonna deal with it, right?
You have to come to realize that when you've played a character in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign for as long as we have, 3 years, 200 episodes, however long you want to say it, you really become attached to the character and the persona that you are playing as. I was like literally sick to my stomach as soon as Winsler died. It was like a part of me was just ripped and then flattened and
So sad,
smashed
dude.
to pieces.
God smash.
And I'm just trying to like, I'm going to pick up all these little pieces and like tape them together.
Do your best, yeah.
You were like a little teapot.
Yeah, he's stuck in
Aw.
it.
And now we're gonna put you
Now we just
together
have to put it all together using gold and do that fancy trick to repair pottery.
Yes.
You're worth it, Winsler. You are.
Always
And I've
worth it.
already apologized to Sarah, who begs for death, the death of Mira every single episode. Every single episode. Those who listen might not know. We start the episode and we go, "Oh, how's everyone week?" And Sarah just goes, "Can you please kill Mira?"
It's true. Every single time, and he says, "No, you have to play her until you fucking die in real life."
The podcast will be long over. We'll all be 40,
I'll still
and
be
Sarah will
playing
still
Mira.
be playing Mira.
Mira's 40 years old, but it's not that old in elf years, so.
No.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Is she's gonna live to like 180, barring.
Yeah,
But that means you could live until
Dreams
180, so congratulations.
maybe.
I mean, it seems like you're gonna have a lot of people die in your arms
Yeah,
in that time.
like
Yeah.
3 people now.
Mira, 3 people. It's Dane, Ferdinand.
Dane,
Oh, Dane,
Ferdinand,
Ferdinand.
Bailey.
You were there moments after Great died, I guess. I don't know if that one counts exactly.
Yeah, that one was
one's like,
successful. We
that's a
brought
0.5.
Great
That was
back.
Yeah.
That is the best.
That was a unique case.
That is.
That was the best it turned out.
Yeah. Oh, Delnus, technically Delnus.
yeah.
That's like
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
5 people who've died in Mira's
Whoa.
arms. She's having a rough go of it.
You're like Alma Alaro, except if they're not your partner.
Just kind of people, some of whom Mira doesn't like.
yeah.
Speaking of Delnus, though,
Oh.
clearly there's gonna be that whole like
Oh, yeah.
situation
Yes,
where she's
she's
gonna come back up from the like the
super
hole in the
lich.
ground where she did like a huge
What
explosion.
do you mean? No, Delnus is alive. She's not a lich. Like, cure wounds, it's
That's
Doesn't
just
work
a
on
normal
constructs.
thing
she's
a wizard
allergic
can
to
do.
it. I think she's just allergic to
We
it's
know
because it
that,
helped with
you
life
know,
transference.
whenever it comes to something like an obstacle in the relationship, it's usually the cause of it is usually on Mira's end. Like
Yeah.
Mira has been responsible for a
Delnus
lot
doesn't
of
do
the
anything
issues that
bad.
have come up, but now
Delnus
it's
has done nothing wrong.
it's Delnus's turn
Yeah.
to be, you know, provide an explanation as to what's happening, and I'm just
Yeah,
curious
she
as to
super
how
did lie about
Mira
becoming a
will
lich.
react to this.
Yeah, that's.
This is a true test of, you know, faith and
I think
like
all this
true.
really shows you is
trust.
that you shouldn't keep secrets in a relationship because there's so many goddamn secrets between them and it just keeps getting worse.
At the start of the arc, when Delnus is like, "Yeah, there was a ritual, and and I'm not strong enough," and then Mira's like, Sarah's like, "I'm gonna cast detect thoughts." I was like, "So it happens now. This is when it happens." And then you were like, "I'm immediately gonna just tell her that I did that. I'm not gonna keep reading her mind." And I was like, "Holy fuck, we were so close."
Yeah.
Like we
But
were
I
like,
think that's such perfect bookends of the very beginning of like, I think you're lying to me versus like, oh, you were lying to me.
yeah. Yeah,
Which I feel
it
like
makes it such a great arc.
might
like her showing up and being like,
yeah.
"You need to bring me with you. You will be so much safer with me than without me." Right? And coming from Delnus
Yep.
of all people,
Whose
right?
like occupation is getting hurt and dying.
Yeah.
Did Color realize what?
what if?
What if Delnus took this lichdom to sort of not become a burden to like herself and to other people, like with almost dying constantly.
I mean, she's pretty much said that like on multiple occasions. Like, I don't want to be the person who has to be saved. I want to be able to help others and help myself. Hey, I fucking died and I don't want that to happen to me again. Like, it's as much
Skill
as
issue.
being a lich means a lot of very terrible things for you and for the people around you. It's not as if Delness's reasons here are not understandable.
Mm-hmm. I just wonder if she's gonna regret it in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure she will.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure she will.
It's gonna be fine in the short term, but in the long term, who knows what the hell's gonna happen to her.
I'm gonna jump into the narrative and fucking kill her phylactery.
God, does knowing that it has happened, does that shift? Because a part of me almost wonders if, now that Mira knows for sure it's happened, does that increase or like lessen how bad being a lich is in Mira's eyes?
I think in some ways it will actually lessen it, just in the sense of like she saw what happened with Elric and Adeline, and this thing of, okay, you left, you became a lich, and now these two people like just don't care about each other anymore. And so for Delness in her like lich state to come up to Mira and be like I love you, I want to help you, I think there is actually something very reassuring in that, in the sense that Delness still cares about her. But at the same time, it also means, there was deception the whole time, and it also means, like, what is this going to imply for both of their lives going forward, for what Delness has to do, for what she is. So I think it might turn out to be a bit of a wash in the end, which is a little bit interesting. I was going to say something, but now I don't fully remember what it was, but I'll say it.
I like the idea that it's not an inherent quality of becoming a lich that coldens your heart, that closes you off to the world, and that was just a direct choice that Adeline might have made to become a more like a colder person.
Totally.
Right? That implies a very interesting thing about that.
Yeah, and
about the influence that Algrim has upon her servants.
And like just what the system that Adeline entered, what she was incentivized to do, and also like the role that Mira might play, like as Delness's partner in keeping her grounded in the coming time. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. It also...
Oh, wonderful.
It also really contextualizes the big expensive gift that Delness got Mira at the very beginning of the arc. You don't end on an argument and then get someone a really nice, fancy +2 spellcasting focus that can travel to different potentialities if there's nothing going on there. Generally.
Or she's just a rich girl splashing the cash.
Well, she is, but she's also a lich girl splashing the cash.
She wants to
That should have been
spoil
my
her
musical
girlfriend.
intro.
Oh my gosh.
You're a lich girl, and it's gone too far.
Oh, you can. By the way, you can take all the money off Windsor's body. By the way.
Cool.
12 buckaroos.
Absolutely,
little,
just our
tumbleweed.
friend has died. Let's just check his pockets for things. Serenith already got the book from someone else, but technically that was stolen from Windsor. Let's get the rest of it. It's fine.
How do you think Mr. Wiggles is doing?
Who knows? He literally can't come out of the book now. He's stuck in there.
Yeah.
He's trapped.
Is there another book that Mr. Wiggles
is?
is stuck in there?
Winslow has 2 spellbooks, his regular spellbook and then his fancy spellbook. His fancy spellbook is the one that Doss gave to you, Serenith, but his regular spellbook is the one he found when he was a young man in the Mudflats, which he found a little conjure or find familiar spell, which popped out Mr. Wiggles.
Who's Winslow's
Who's going to
friend?
tell his parents?
What are you going to tell his parents?
I talked
What
about
are you
that.
gonna tell
I
Mom and
literally
Pa
made
Wallaby?
a message in our Discord about guys,
God.
how are we gonna do this with Mom and Pa? Like,
You better get to it before the school does, you know?
Oh
God.
no! Imagine a school representative just knocking on their door.
Imagine just
and
a
they
letter being sent.
They just hand them a letter. Oh.
Oh no.
And
Are
they
there
hear
casualties?
nothing from his friends at all. They don't know what happened.
Here's a question: with Wildcliff, what is because we know we have one ghost who lives inside of the old chapel.
Yes.
How many students die on campus? What's the what's the 2-year quota?
It's not super common.
I think
0 days since accident.
It's in the teacher's lounge.
Kyla, what do you think?
I mean, my hope is that the deaths did not happen until we were here and that it was fairly safe beforehand. Because if not, what the fuck is happening?
They left
It's
that
like-
part of the brochure.
It's like that stupid joke that I like to make sometimes where it's like if someone's traveling and then like, oh, we got there and it was horrible weather. Yeah, you brought the bad weather with you. We brought the death
Yeah,
with
we
us
brought the death
to the
with
So
school.
who's to say that even if we weren't there, the same thing could happen to someone else?
Just some
would've
other
been
random
Burnty.
first
Anyone
years
could've found that
who
hatch.
just like found all the horrible
There's
secrets
a
of the
lot of
school.
things in Wildcliff that can just, cause a lot of bodily harm and potentially be lethal.
One of them was Bailey Blue being
Fair.
just very crazy, just doing his
One of them was
thing.
Bailey
So
Blue
now we
getting
don't have to
challenged
worry
for his
about
power.
that.
Okay, but Bailey Blue was a
Yeah.
student who was manipulated by a higher power into serving
True.
said higher power. So I think the higher power is at fault here.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Bailey Blue, I wanted to direct a question to Sam actually, because we previously spoke on like another CNC about Sereneth's perception of Bailey and all of that jazz,
Bitch.
and I was, yeah, it was very much that.
venomous,
It was
yeah.
like,
I don't.
Fuck this
yeah,
dude.
Sorry.
hey, question. Now that he is dead, now that we like have seen, the ends of this, I was curious if Sereneth's perception has changed on Bailey, and also to know that he was doing all of this for the smallest scrap of power over other people. Like, that was his key motivation. Does that also like affect Sereneth's view? Sereneth has had real power. Sereneth has had access to being like true royalty, having the ear of the leader of a nation, and chose to walk away from it. I was curious about like how all of these factors like influence her perception of this very tragic figure of Bailey Blue.
I think Sereneth's gonna 100% see the tragedy that became of Bailey because of this search for power. It doesn't change the fact that she, in every interaction with Bailey, has just not. It hasn't left it with a good taste in her mouth when it comes to dealing with Bailey. The fact that he has died in this way, she can see the tragedy of it, but like at the same time, it's a moment of like, you not only poked the bear, you grabbed a salmon from the river, you walked over, you opened its mouth and stuffed your entire arm in there and just let go and to see what happened.
There's a sadness in it, but it happened to a person that brought it upon themselves, that did
Yeah.
do this terrible shit. He
Yeah.
wasn't like, you can feel bad for a person even if they're a bad person, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think something else I was thinking about was knowing, oh, this is the type of person where like who is attracted by power.
Yeah.
Like people are willing to do this for this small amount of power. Sereneth has had access to this degree of power and is choosing to walk away from it, like is continuously actively making the choice to not try to get back in there. These are the people who are filling the void she is leaving behind. Is it irresponsible of her to walk away?
It's a great question. It's a fantastic question, Nathan.
One can 100% say yes, because the
You
same
as
stuff.
Sam
like,
can say that.
I can say that as Sam.
Yeah.
Sereneth sees it as. I don't think Sereneth has looked that deep into it, honestly. Like, because in that time of like doing everything for the name of the family and blah blah blah, she's doing this for herself. She's kind of like, now that she's out of it, she doesn't want to, unless they send a letter saying, "Come back to the castle to get your head chopped off," or whatever the heck they're going to do with that
Well, then she definitely
situation.
say yes.
No. But just like, but like,
being polite not to go.
well, like, no. But I'm just saying, like,
I gotta meet up with
It's
Winslow
not-
and Lynn.
it's not something like at this point she's kind of washed her hands of it, because again, the same thing with Bailey, it left a bad taste in her mouth her entire life, and now she's out of it. And
Yeah.
unless it's going to pop up in her life again and try to disrupt things, she's not going to think about it. But as Sam, it's
Like, Sereneth has this belief that
Sereneth's
she's
made
gotten
like
out of
view
it.
of
yes,
yeah.
She's gone. There's no choice to be
foolishly
made
she's
anymore.
out of it now. Besides her friends who she wants to continue helping, who are still connected to it, she is not in it anymore.
Yeah. Interesting.
And if she ever wants to be brought back in, it would have to be. This is a key thing that I think is interesting about Sereneth's morality, is that it is about what is palatable.
Yes.
Like, if it doesn't leave a bad taste in her mouth, then it is far easier for her to swallow, if that makes any sense.
It's easier to do. It's easier to go along with things when people are doing things that are like, oh, it's kind of bad, but it's not horrible. There's not like overt atrocity happening in front of you.
Like, Serenup's not a lawful person, but it's definitely very much based on how she feels about it and not based on, like, is it a good thing to do or not.
It's
If
knowing
that
when
makes
to take a risk or
Yeah,
it really depends on like whether they're willing to take a risk or not in the current situation. Because sometimes you have to take risks.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? I'm so confused. I'm lost. Me personally?
Yeah, I feel like
I'm lost in the
I
sauce.
missed.
I feel like I understood it to a certain point, and then we really jumped off the deep end. But I'm gonna make what's the word? Is non sequitur proper? Here's a segue to something different that I thought of while we were talking about that. The joke of Sarah needs to get her head cut off that she can go to the afterlife with Winsler. Where do you guys think your individual, like your character's afterlife would be? Because we have these 6 different planes. Not everyone goes to the same afterlife. Mira obviously worships Siltern, but who, would they come to collect if she died, or what do you think? What would be
I think Rel would come to collect, even though Mira is a Siltron person. That's god of death. That's just my immediate instinct.
Absolutely.
Mira has a very interesting relationship with death, I think. And I imagine that a god of such things would notice
take
that.
interest.
Yeah. I mean, fucking Meafide's already directly fucking spoken to her. So, you know, gods are watching us, I think.
Yeah.
I think Winsler has like a natural, like his soul is pretty naturally aligned with Isithil already.
Interesting.
So I think it wouldn't be surprising if his soul wound up there in some shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like just like the whole whimsical appearance and like the nature of Isithil in general is just something that would probably be like a magnet, kind of.
Interesting.
I wonder if Winslor's going to... I don't know if Winslor's going to
Yeah.
be played in the afterlife or whatever, but I wonder if Winsler is going to, like, run into anybody that we have already encountered who we've seen die in the story.
Oh my god.
Ferdinand was my immediate, like...
Ferdinand pops to mind.
Yeah, but I just wonder if that's going to happen.
There might be some familiar faces down there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There very much could be.
I don't know where Serenup would honestly go. Going back to like what our afterlife. I don't really.
I think
Like,
since she's associated with storms, she's got to go to Stybus. Maybe
Yeah.
that's just me liking Stybus too much. But
Yeah,
because
she has like the store. She has like the lightning attributes and everything like that. Like she's like in the times that she's gone to other planes, she hasn't really like because like the times that she's actually like talked to like Isithil, like that wasn't like a bad. It was like the circumstances were bad, but like. There was a conversation that happened between her and Isithel.
That's true.
That's the only time that she's ever really like talked to any of the because like so in that case I don't really know where she would like Stybus obviously is like a large attribute of like what her abilities even are, but like
nature.
yeah. And plus like the whole Sweetling situation that happened got bonked on the head linked to Isithil for a bit there. Like I don't fucking know, man.
Where would integrity?
I don't think any god wants me.
No.
Damn.
To limbo with ye.
You got the first
Although-
syllable right.
Another question that I was like going to ask if it's young integrity who dies or old integrity who dies, because I feel like at the trajectory that she's going, there's like different facets of integrity of there's this troublemaker young kid, then the god of trickery and money and stuff like that.
Rope
Or
enthusiast.
the integrity who's a changed woman and just wants to well, like the integrity that I envision she becomes long time from now. I hope will be less greedy, but likely not. But I'm just saying that if she becomes a better person and she becomes more focused on less criminal stuff, then perhaps a different god will take her, such as someone who let's say the one with the beautiful halls.
Oh, Estar, god of order
Estar.
and
Yeah.
cycles. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Listen.
very much the idea of getting your life together.
Yeah.
is-
gotta get
like-
in those marble halls.
I could see Crime Lord integrity.
I absolutely could see
love
Lem
that.
coming
I
to
could see
collect
Crime Lord
Day.
integrity.
The moment Integrity's dead, she's like, you need to work for me right now. I need your soul. You've got great potential, kid.
I need you to go.
Listen,
door
I've
to
been sending
door,
out college scouts this whole time to see your thievery.
Integrity did
You
get
really impressed the
at a
scouts.
certain point in this arc, when everyone's possessions were returned to them by Crow, Integrity did in her possession have a book of Lem, like the Lem's Good book that she previously didn't have.
Some surprise book
Fascinating.
that I didn't open
Yeah.
because
You did.
That's probably nothing.
No, it's probably nothing. I'm a DM who often puts things in the player's path that are meaningless and unimportant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that how you're supposed to DM? You're
Yeah.
just supposed to throw a lot of random bullshit.
Yeah, that's the way that you can just coast and do nothing for multiple episodes.
Yeah, your DMing style really speaks to me as like someone who coasts a lot.
Thank you.
Carla, I did want to ask though about how integrity.
Ooh.
God, no, it's not just how integrity is doing. I was about to just say, how's integrity holding in,
It's a
hanging in
rough
there?
one.
Yeah, no, she got to add her first name to the list of warlocks, and I was curious if seeing Bailey's death firsthand, does that make her feel similarly doomed? Like, oh, you really can't escape this.
Mhm.
I was so afraid that you were going to ask that question. I can feel the tears in my
Oh,
eyes
no.
right now because after we recorded that, I was emotional. So your question is the Integrity's general feeling about writing
Bailey's
someone's name there
Seeing him die.
and the thought of her eventually potentially dying in the hands of
The progenitor, yeah.
Oh. Well, currently, it's 100% every single one that she knows who was a warlock and is a warlock was killed by their patron.
Mhm.
So I don't think that bodes well for her brain,
Yeah.
but I think there's still a part of Integrity that really believes that she could have saved Bailey, and it's more so feelings of her not acting quick enough, not acting appropriately as to what the position of a keeper
Yeah.
is supposed to do. So I think a lot of her feelings may rest on that, about feeling like she can still save herself, that there's still a way out. It's just that she was not acting fast enough. She was not acting heroically. She was not acting.
She was acting selfishly, right? She just ran past
Yes.
Bailey to get to the orbs. She said to Bailey in the cannon lab, "We're going to save you, right? You're not too far gone." And then in the moment that she could try to save him, she ran past him both times, going in and out.
Yes. For Integrity, though, the orbs from the very beginning was sort of because she is aged down,
Mhm.
she felt like she didn't have the capacity to fight to the level that she can.
Yeah.
Felt that she needed to get those orbs in order to be worthy and be able to fight them off. But by the time that she got the orbs, everything was too late.
Yeah.
In a sense, there's one of her closest friends, Winslow, was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this Bailey, and then there's Bailey who has a squid or thing on his
Mhm.
head that right now at that point he was talking to Integrity sort of as a minion of Henrietta. So
Yeah, he was a
Integrity's
puppet.
saying, if you can snap out of it, come along, we're going to do something about it. And again, this comes down to also Carla, the player, not understanding the thing that was on his head. So there was still hope in her, and then that hope was shattered, but she still believes that if she acts fast enough, if she acts brave, if she acts unselfishly, perhaps there is a way to fix things.
That is a fascinating take, because it does feel like there is a real, if things had gone differently, right? If you had chosen to do the opposite, to focus on cutting Bailey's strings, so to speak, even if you're like, you did know, oh, that slug is what's like connecting him to Henrietta, you were doing everything at like a -3 to any D20 roll. Like, there is a very real like chance that you could have tried and then rolled poorly, or rolled well and then had that like negative, detriment keep you from doing what you needed to do. We could be having a very like different conversation of Bailey dying in your arms because you didn't get the orbs. It is almost this feeling of like Bailey being, I know Bailey wasn't doomed from the start, but in that case, there is this feeling of, either path you could have taken would have led down this road.
And I think we've had this conversation in one of the CNCs before about what's integrity's priority. And I said that there's so many things that she wants to do. And perhaps like this shows that when it comes to play and when there's a lot of other factors in play, those decisions become more clear and more supported.
What is important. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You say that you didn't act fast enough for Bailey. Bailey was only Henrietta's patron, or her warlock, for a few days, right? She was speaking in his dreams, obviously, like at earliest, like a year or more ago, but he kind of rebuffed them and then wasn't dealing with them. But obviously, it just recently became a warlock. Integrity's been a warlock of the progenitor for coming up on half a year or more. Do you not think that you're getting kind of past that point of no return? You have had the orb long enough now that when you're separated from it, you're getting the same shit that Artis had to deal with, where he just immediately was like brought to his knees in pain and sickness, right? So what's the point of too far gone for integrity?
Like, the point of too far gone?
Yeah, what's the point of no return, right?
That's hard. That's very hard to like determine. Perhaps like just like the quality that integrity has of not like, oh, I'm the main character, like energy, like, but just this sort of naive like feeling that she can and will power through things, even when they're hard. So to have a point of no return, like this is the point of no return, is sort of hard for her to conceptualize. So generally, just like when I think of how integrity acts and how integrity is, she's going to fight to the bitter end to either get out of it or...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think...
What is that ominous smile, Luke?
Oh, God.
What is that?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just having a good time. That's just what I said.
It also kind of sucks that like Winsler was stepping in to be like, hey, let's research how to get this fixed together, and now Winsler's not there.
Yeah.
Winsler, who was like, I will find a way to unbind you from your pact. I'm dead.
Winsler's my
Well,
buddy.
sorry, I'm dead now.
God.
Well, Luke, you look like you have something that you would like to say.
There was a thought that was in my mind. I'd spoken it to Carla earlier. Shit. That shit's gone. Brain empty, head empty. No thoughts.
Oh no.
At least Henrietta can't access your brain.
Yeah.
There you go.
I am shocked that you guys. This is worth mentioning. There was a contingency that I had planned where you got, and this is like evident in the way Delmas was talking at certain points, where she was like, "Do you have everything ready to go?" Right? I had a contingency prepared for if you guys decided we can't fight this one, folks. Let's get the fuck out of here, or like try to evacuate the school, perhaps. Right? That was a contingency I had prepared for. It was like, what does that kind of like possibility look like? And I was like, kind of excited for it, and it didn't come to pass, and I was very proud, despite Winsler's death, of the fact that you guys did manage to kill Henrietta. She was hefty, I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She has a big old brain.
Big old brain.
Yeah.
And, not without losses. Like, it is truly sad, the loss of Winsler and Bailey and the loss of the sense of safety that people in Wildcliff had. But all of it was fucking worth it. Because now Mira gets to be event planning
Yay!
committee president.
It was all worth it.
Your first task, plan that little idiot's funeral.
I just realized Yogg.
Oh, and fundraising to like rebuild the tower.
Guys.
I think if we host enough bake sales,
Jesus Christ.
Guys,
Poor divination department, though.
Oh my
Whatever.
gosh, or we could have like,
They
like
take so many
in
L's
high
anyway.
schools where they're like, oh, let's paint the wall and let's put our hands and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
yeah.
God.
The entire school just rebuilding that tower as like like team building.
God.
Team building by building up the tower.
That's student labor.
Everyone leaves a handprint, and then you can put a little X over it when they
When they
die.
die.
In
Oh
their
my
What a way
gosh.
for new students to start the year off, huh? That is
Right.
probably putting like a until notice like suspension on school activities probably.
Yeah, that's symposium.
What's that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was murder before anyone like jumped out from under the stage. That God, I know we're coming to an end here. However, I do want to say, Luke,
Yeah.
I've never felt more of a DM kinship with you than like doing a fun debate. That would be fun for Sarah. I want to throw this out for Sarah and then getting utterly demolished.
yeah, the last time this happened was in a game that Nathan was DMing for us,
Yes.
and they created a legal trial for us to
Oh boy.
The
participate in.
most stressful sessions of my life. But yeah, this is the great thing where you go, oh, Sarah, you're going to love this. The debate's happening in so-and-so days. We look forward to that. And then I'm like, meanwhile, I'm going to put rats and everything in the way, and we're going to delay the debate for as long as possible. Okay, it's here now. He's just going to stab you. He's just going to stab you. You've won, okay?
I can't
And
win
the-
with
The way
words.
Mira shut down Bailey is very interesting, though, and we need to talk about it for a moment.
Okay.
Because he said true, genuine facts. Bailey not once did Bailey lie.
He did
on
not
that
lie in the
stage.
debate. It's true.
And Mira was like, nah, you raised that thing to kill people.
Uh-huh.
We're saviors.
Yep.
I didn't steal anything.
Uh-huh.
He didn't even get to bring up the academic misconduct or anything beyond that. The death of students.
Yep.
You just fucking shut him down so soundly that it was like a complete annihilation of his entire like play there, where he was like, okay, Our Lady of the Deep didn't give me anything to work with, and I thought she would give me like additional wisdom or brain power to help with, so I'll just stick to my guns.
Nope.
And then you ruined him.
Sticking
and
to
he had
his guns
turn
is a
to
fucking knife.
the lesser side of things.
Hey, is
right?
Mira a bad
It was just-
person?
Mira. That's his arc, right?
That's-
Is
yeah,
It was the struggle for the smallest scrap of power.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Mira did everything that she could as well, and she came out on top.
That's
Sure,
true.
her friend is dead.
Well, yes, there
but
is
she
that.
won in the end.
What
Right.
a hollow victory.
seems to be the trend, you know?
No kidding.
Hollow victories.
That's a good
What's it worth?
episode title for something.
Hollow victory.
Hey, if you need one for 200,
Oh fuck.
200.
have we already used
All right.
Brainstorm?
Let me fucking tell you about something. I wish that I
Oh.
gave Henrietta an ability called Brainstorm that just like fucking fucked up people's brains. That's
Jimmy
my biggest
Neutron,
regret.
brain
Ever
blast.
since
The sky
we finished
begins to
recording,
rain
the
actual
moment we finished
brains.
recording 201, I walked into the bathroom and looked at myself in the mirror and said, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why didn't you give her a Brainstorm ability? It would have been
Oh.
so cool." That's all. So no, we can't call the episode
Yeah,
Brainstorm.
you really
Okay.
fucked that one up,
Damn.
Luke.
I know.
You stupid God.
Just
How dare you?
imbecile. I know.
We should just end the podcast.
Should we title episode 201 The Death of Winslow Wallaby?
Jesus
And
Christ.
then it fast forwards like
Just-
50 years, and then like we don't know what happened after
I
that.
hope people can live with
How do
They-
people
they don't have a
react to
fucking
artists
choice.
dying and then just multiply it a couple of times, and that's probably what's gonna happen
This is
there.
different.
Yeah, artist is
It really
different.
depends on
Artists
how
gonna find
much.
We're gonna have to
I
write
think
to them,
Yogg
I
is gonna
think.
find out.
I love
There's
the
a
fact
lot of letters
we
y'all are
talked
gonna
about
have
this
to write.
privately. We talked about this privately, but for those of you who have listened to Weenie Hollow, it ends with artists reading this book about children dying and sending it to Swim and going, "This book made me really worry about you guys, and so I'm writing it to you to warn you about the dangers of getting involved with eldritch monstrosities." And he's going to have sent that right as Winslow fucking dies of
And
an
then
eldritch
he's gonna get a letter
monstrosity.
that just It's
The
just in all
timeline-
big letters.
The
Winsler
timeline
is
literally-
I
dead.
think Mira
The
has
timeline
the
is
sending
literally-
stone. That's right. She'll have to tell Artis the
she
sending
could
stone.
just
Yeah.
send it to him, and he's
Fuck.
gonna be like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Guys, don't
Hold it
shell
into
don't check your
25
PO boxes,
words,
please.
by the way.
Winsler died.
Windsor died.
LOL.
That's
Sad
not going to
face.
be a very fun phone
Right.
call to make.
Oh, so good.
There are so many
Scrumptious.
different places that we have to go to let people know about Winsler passing away, which is weird.
No, just his parents and
Yog.
artists. No one else cares about him.
Yog.
It's that thing Crow said at the start of the
Yonk
arc.
doesn't understand
That thing
death.
Crow
is
said
the
at the
thing.
start of the arc.
Oh
If
shit,
one of
you're
you guys
right.
disappeared, how many people outside this room would even fucking care?
Oh.
God, this is a tight arc. This is a
Jesus.
great arc.
I
This
feel,
is
like
a great
I
arc.
feel like this is going to age great on a re-listen. Not to pat us ourselves on the back
Yeah,
here,
oh,
but I think
I
this is
get
gonna be
it.
a
Yeah,
fun one to
absolutely.
re-listen to. Oh,
Yeah,
so sad
absolutely.
though. So sad.
I
I'm gonna
hate
go start
Crow
my
with all my
re-listen
being.
right
Oh
now.
yeah. Crow very quickly went from this is an interesting new character who's cooler than our old headmaster, and now it's
When
gone
was
to
he-
what the fuck are you?
Sam, I don't think he was ever. All right.
No.
I agree. Sam, don't listen to them. I agree.
Bullshit.
Crow is cooler than the last
Well,
headmaster.
cooler is relative.
No, but like-
Crow is, yeah, he's very cool. He's also he's
was
not good for.
always-
He's
Okay,
not
but
cool.
here okay. Literally, like the first time we met Crow, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is gonna be an interesting change to things," because our last headmaster was
It has been.
that dude.
young guy.
and-
He's hit with it. He's gonna
Yeah,
understand us.
I don't know. There's a whole
He's
thing
gonna
of like,
dab.
okay, maybe
TikTok.
this is gonna be like.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna be that guy on TikTok that like goes up to his employees and is like, "Oh, if I double this, or do you want this? Or if you don't want it, I'll double it."
It's
And then
that
there's
brings
people
attention, and he goes up to the
commenting
students.
that the company is actually shit. Like they treat him bad.
They
So
just have
he's
a
like,
great
cool on
marketing.
TikTok.
They have a great marketing department.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Everybody and their fucking mother has a Crow Mercantile catalog in the back in some fucking cupboard. You know,
Oh my
it's
fucking-
true.
They
I
pull it
can't
out
wait
during
for Crow
Christmas
to figure out how
time
to cover
to
this
just.
up and
There's no covering
blame
it up.
everything
There's no need to
on
cover it up.
these
What does he have to
troublesome
cover up?
students.
A student contacted some crazy magical
Yeah,
being.
this was Bailey's fault.
Yeah.
And Bailey's
Yeah.
dead now, so the problem is gone. What a horrible thing for our school. I'm going to
So clean.
invest my own personal funds in fixing it. I have
And
no
then screening the
responsibility
students
here.
before they
I'm
start
here to
coming to the
help.
school.
Yep. None of the students came to me. None of the faculty came to me with this. You know, this is the thing. Doss knew, right? She could have done something.
Oh,
She doesn't. And she goes, "Okay, I'll leave it to you two because you seem to have it under wraps."
Ugh.
Right?
Yeah.
Oof.
So fun. This is a good one.
good arc. Good
This is a
fucking
great arc.
So many
I love
like
us talking
promises
about it.
and like
Yeah.
conversations that just like
Pay off. Isn't it good when things pay off? Luke,
So many
in the future, do it. Keep doing this.
so many adults who are like, hey, children who are going to this magic school and
You guys are
learning.
adults.
They're not children.
You're 20.
They're
We're
adults.
we are young
saying-
adults.
Comparing to the
We-
comparing to like the what I'm saying is like compared to like the
Yeah.
age and experience of these people who are teaching us,
Absolutely.
who are like, hey, you students, good
You
luck,
get
bye.
Yeah.
We trust
That's
your
the vibe.
abilities.
For what it's worth, I think your group has had more life or death experiences than any
Yeah.
member of the faculty.
True.
Like besides maybe Wishbone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
absolutely.
like-
No one can match Wishbone. Do you remember when this arc started with Wishbone?
yeah.
God.
Oh my god, Professor Periwinkle's dead. I just
What a
realized.
tonal
Whoops.
shift.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
fuck,
no
that's
more
the
Barry
big thing.
Periwinkle.
Oh yeah.
Why?
They're gonna have
okay,
two
can I ask,
funerals.
why did the reaction of hey, Yog also does not know that his like creator is dead?
Yeah.
No reaction.
I don't care
oh,
about
yeah,
Yog
d-
as
the
much as I
funny
care about
goofy
Barry
thing
I'm
Periwinkle.
that
glad
he
that
was
before
doing.
Winsler died, Yog made friends with Syndra. You know.
Yeah, they have someone.
yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
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 I feel like
God.
they
The
they
goddamn
need
Professor
a
Periwinkle,
friend
no.
now more than ever probably.
Absolutely. Sad as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kurt's gonna have a tough time.
yeah.
Actually, Kurt's gonna have a quiet room.
Kurt's gonna have a quiet room and no one to like. Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about
Yeah.
Kurt recently.
Maybe
excited to see it.
Kurt is not one who enjoys the quiet after all. Maybe he does require
Yeah.
like, that chatterbox in his ear to like keep him like, grounded and stuff.
I'm imagining because like Winsler's the one person who was like constantly around Kurt outside of school hours that was like, hey, you should probably go to bed now. Like, hey, have you eaten today?
Someone
Like,
keeping
here,
Kurt
have some
taking care of
water.
him.
Like, yeah, like, and
Yeah,
now
but
he doesn't
Windsor
have
was
that.
also like
Kurt work
Fuck
for
your
me, make a fuck.
dreams.
You're tired all the time. Make me these circlets.
But that was just the stress. We've gone over it. That wasn't Ben.
Yeah, that was
being
not-
rude.
No, that was.
I just don't like Crow, and I feel like he was getting mixed in with a bad group.
Yeah.
Yes.
God.
Crow is evil.
It was out of love
never
and
intended to be
concern.
good. We got it.
I love that, like, not too long ago, people were like, wow, Kurtzler winners, we're eating good. And now Kurtzler is pretty much,
Listen, you can still eat good when one half died.
Just
there's a lot of
Kurt.
angst to unpack there.
There's precedent
Yeah.
for it, I'll say that.
God.
Oh.
All right.
And
This has been a great
Winsler
time.
never got
I think
closure
that's
with
it. That's the
Charlotte
closing
either.
note.
No.
Oh, she'll have to learn
Oh,
instead.
shit.
Sad.
That's what an awkward thing for her to go through.
Hey, I
though.
know
Like, let's
your
be real
date
here.
to the
Your
prom
crush is-
died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Date to the prom.
Did they interact
whose
since-
memories of your affection towards him were implanted by a product of this giant brain who killed him, who's now
Whose
dead.
creator is also dead.
Charlotte only liked. Listen, Bailey Blue's the reason for a lot of things. The reason for
Yeah.
Mira's arm missing. The reason for Winsler getting any play at all. All that,
Like, I can only imagine what everything
You know what?
looks like for the students who, like, aren't a part of all of this. Like, just a random, like, third year who just sees just all the insane, like, wow, this food tastes weird. And, like, oh, I feel a little bit sick today. What the fuck was that over at the divination tower?
I'm so excited for that part.
Oh.
Nonetheless,
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Then. How about? All right, everyone. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you, dear listener, for joining us as well.
thank you.
I just wanted to. Oh, what's that?
Oh, I
Luke?
was just saying thank you in a sultry voice to the listeners.
Thank you.
Oh. But hey, if you like this episode of Conversations and Catapults and you want to let us know how much you liked it, give us money.
Whoa, money?
Money?
Whoa,
How
what's
will
that?
they do
Give
that?
us money. Oh, you
Here
can
you
give
go.
us money at patreon.com/trialsandtrebs.
Yes.
Or, hey, even better, maybe you don't want good audio in your ears as like recompense for the money that you're giving. Maybe you want to wear some good
Yeah.
clothing.
Oh, shit.
Go to trebmerch.com to throw a few
Whoa.
bucks our way.
Treb merch
Trebmerch.com.
with a capital M.
Trevor.com.
It is case sensitive. You Oh no, go to trebmerch.com. Pick up an Ascend t-shirt. Pick up a Camp Daybreak t-shirt. Are those still
Those are
available?
not
or no?
available.
Grab a memorial sticker.
me.
But they should be shipping out soon.
It just says rip.
Oh, fun.
Also, if you want more Ascend t-shirts and we don't have any sizes for you, demand things because we have to make more things.
Fuck.
Yeah, let us know
What
if you need
happened?
to. But hey, if you can't throw a few dollars our way, totally understandable.
Mhm.
You know what doesn't cost a damn thing? Going on to your podcatcher of choice, leaving a 5-star review and a glowing rating. Nope, switch that. A 5-star rating and a
Yeah.
glowing review about how much you love this podcast.
Yes.
Say something really funny
Yes.
to make us laugh, because we do read every review and
Incessant.
we get a lot of good encouragement from those. So I greatly appreciate it. And you know what's even better than like writing a 5-star review? Writing a 5-star review and also telling a friend
Oh.
about us. That's right.
Oh,
yeah,
We do not
absolutely.
advertise the
I
show.
love talking to my
Pass it
friends
around through
about
word of
this
mouth.
podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Just be like, yeah, hey, do you have like 200 hours or so?
Oh, it's
Just to
well
get
more
through
than
the, like,
that
the main
now.
line.
Oh, it's so much more than that.
But also follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram.com/trialsandtrebs.
Yes.
Is there anything else that I'm forgetting? Oh,
There's also the Discord, link down in the description.
Yeah.
You too, if you want to mourn with your fellow listener, head on over there. There's probably going to be a lot of sad people. Probably going to also be a influx of Winsler art if I was a betting man.
Probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there's gonna be so much sad, like Wiggles angst
Oh my
art
God,
of like
yeah.
Wiggles curled
Oh
up next to the
God.
hat.
Oh,
Oh no, the
God.
tears will be flowing.
Nathan, how did you know what I was going to draw?
Oh god.
but that's it.
All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us here at Conversations and Catapults. I've been your host, Nathan, and I will see you next time. That's always been the sign off. It's never been anything else.
And you can't prove
That
it
is
to us.
part of the sign off.